Hey everybody, this is Avi Harkishin. Here's a SPY breakdown for February 28th, which is going to be tomorrow. So this is the video I put out yesterday on SPY, and I talked about this head and shoulder pattern that we're seeing here, and I talked about the fair value gap the day before, which was filled. I talked about the resistance at 598 over there, and we had this uptrend, we had this downtrend, and then we broke out of it. But I said to be very careful of this because it could be a potential trap. So if you pay attention to the video that I posted, you would have noticed that I talked about all of these scenarios, and I did point out the head and shoulders. I said if SPY was to drop below this trend line, especially this 15 minutes fair value gap here at 592, you're going to come and you're going to fill this gap at the bottom here. That's what I posted. So I wanted everybody in my Discord to be aware of this because when we're trading, you don't know entirely or for certain where the price is going to go. But you have levels. You're looking at the volume price analysis of what's going on, and you take your best guess. So this here was the video that I put out. SPY did fulfill the head and shoulder pattern, and it filled the gap, which you saw here. Today it did that, completely filled the gap. Now, where do I think SPY is going next? It's not as easy, but just looking at the selling and the volume and what happened previously, I do think SPY have a bit more downside to go. I don't think the bottom is in as yet because of the volume. And this candle right here, that's a lot of selling coming in. I don't think we've reached the selling climax. And one of the reasons I say that too is because if you look at the candle, you look at the volume, and you go back and you look at similar volume, and you look at the patterns like this, for example, and you'll notice you tend to have, like this one, for example, here, you tend to have just one more day, gap down a little bit, and possibly you see a bit more upside or so. Can't tell for sure, but one of the things that I am paying attention to is this rising wedge right here. Let me see, let me put this on. Give me 1 second. Where is it? Okay, so 200 EMA. So we did touch. So what I'm expecting next to happen is this. I'm expecting possibly that we're going to touch this trend line again. And I think we're going to come down to probably maybe around that 580 to 580-ish. I think we're going to come down there. Let's look at the 4 hours. I think it's very possible. One of the things I want you to pay attention to is below this rising wedge, I do have this level here, which is 565. That's if we break down. Now, we're not going to talk about that yet. Let's just talk about within here because I'm not I don't think we're going to break down now because we've had a lot of days of selling. If we do potentially break down, I think you're going to see some upside, a bit more upside. At least retest that 599 level before we actually take that step if we are to break down. But let's look at the 4 hours. I think we're almost here, almost at the bottom. Let's look at the 2 hours. Did have a lot of selling today. That's a lot of selling. Now, I think tomorrow you might see something, possibly something like this, where you have a little bit of upside, maybe come back up here or even here. But I think you'll probably stay within this fair value gap, and you could, I think you're gonna probably gap down back towards that 582-ish. that's what I think may happen. Probably even that 580 and possibly come back up again. And we'll see what happens from there. I do think it's going to be another red day tomorrow. I don't think the bottom is in as yet. That's what I think is going to happen. So I can't say for sure because this here is now going to act as a resistance. 591 is going to act as a resistance. A lot of times when you come down below a daily gap, it tends to act as a resistance as well too. So I think you're going to see a bit more downside tomorrow. Slightly maybe a little bit of retest within this fair value gap range. And then you're probably going to break down a bit more tomorrow. That's what I think is going to happen with SPY. I cannot say entirely for sure, but looking at the volume, looking at everything else, I think you're gonna see a day more of red around this 580, 582-ish. I think you're gonna come down there. That's what I think is gonna happen. Slightly a bit more retest tomorrow within this range. Probably push up a little bit here, and maybe it breaks down again. So that's my analysis. So if you're trading this tomorrow, I think be prepared for within this range of 589-ish up to 591. But I think we're gonna stay within the daily gap. And then you look at the volume price analysis, what it's doing, and possibly it's gonna push down towards this trend line. I hope that was helpful for SPY. That's all I got for now for Friday. I think it's gonna be another red day for Friday. All right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But yeah, I haven't seen the selling climaxes yet. When I do, I'll let you know, but I think we'll get there pretty soon, at least for the local bottom. See whether or not this is a local bottom or at least a macro bottom until we go back up for wave 5. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to see if I can make any other videos, but that's a SPY video. Oh, wait, one more thing, actually, before I go. Let me see here. All right, yes. So let's look at this from Traditex data. And this is the 1 hour. Let's see if I can look at the 1 day, the daily. This is a daily chart. So let's remove this. Let's look at the market net flow. Okay, 1 day. All right, let's look at the market net flow for 1 day. So the market net flow pretty much is just saying that when you see this is declining, as simple as that, you'll notice the stock price is declining. So the market net flow is just really the options part of the market. Still declining, that you can notice. Now, if we were to look at the whales target, so whales have resistance as 590 with upper target 593 and 597. Both, well, all of these are resistance level as well. And there's no support that was created here yet. So I just talked about the, there you go. I just talked about the 589 up to 590 level acting as resistance. If we do have a retest, be careful of it. That would probably be your, especially if you're in calls, that might be your profit taking. Just get out. Watch the volume price analysis in 5 and 15 minutes, and you may want to take your profit because I think you're going to see some downside. Let's move this over here. 590. And you're probably going to see some downside. So if you look at a technical analysis perspective of it, and you look at Traditex data that I just showed you, they are agreeing with each other. Whales are setting target right here. They're trading on technicals as well. And we're obviously in a downtrend right here. And until I see volume coming in, where it is a selling climax, I will not tell you that the bottom is in because I think we have another red day ahead of us. So be prepared for it. Any retests, be cautious and take your profit. Don't hold thinking you're going to be driving a Lambo. All right. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. Take care.